Thanks for joining us. This is the Signature TV News Updates. I am Ifnanya Ilodianya. In the headlines, President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, describes trade unions as victims of circumstance in Nigeria. Association of Civil Society Organization on Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition says malaria is a major cause of Nigeria's poverty. President Muhammadu Buhari receives first made in Nigeria mobile phone. And now the details. The President of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, says Nigeria trade unions are victims of economic circumstance in Nigeria. He made the statement at the 3rd National Quadrennial Conference of Senior Staff Union of Colleges of Education, held in Abuja on Wednesday. Ayuba, while commenting on the theme of the conference, trade union and emerging challenges in the world of work, stated that the government sees trade unions as problem and therefore payment of workers as wastes. SignatureTV correspondent Chibweze Obi was at the conference and now reports.
There is victory for all in the struggle for our members. There is victory for all.
Ayuba Waba at the 3rd National Quadrennial Conference of the Senior Staff Union of Colleges of Education maintained that development of society was not investment on infrastructure alone, rather on the welfare and economic security of the people. He stated that education was the key for development of every society, with high quality of teachers being the foundation and therefore should be prioritized.
Workers today around the world are at the receiving end. Instead of looking at us as victims, most governments and people see us as a problem. But I can say clearly that we are not the problem, we are only victims of circumstances, and we'll continue to challenge that. Development is not only about building infrastructure. In fact, development everywhere around the world, when you hear about welfare of the people, it means welfare means also the socio-economic status of the people. The issue of respect for collective bargaining, respect for due process, respect for the rule of law is essence, is important for us to have industrial peace and harmony. We have come under a situation where many collective bargaining agreements are not respected. And therefore, we don't also expect to have peace in our industrial relations system if those agreements are not respected. And we'll continue to stand by you. We'll continue to ensure that workers' rights are protected.
Danladi Sheliza, the president of Senior Staff Union of Colleges of Education Nigeria, lamented the poor funding of colleges of education by governments at all levels, which he said portends grave danger to teacher education. He therefore called on government to have a rethink on the kind of attention it pays to the foundation of teachers, which he said is the College of Education.
We wish to note with serious concern and dismay the steady decrease in percentage of budgetary allocations to education relative to the annual budget. We have now reached a situation where colleges cannot pay for utility bills, buy diesel to power generators to students' hostels and staff offices, and unable to pay for actual services, securities and cleaners. This calls for serious concern and reflection. Hence the need to review budgetary allocations to education and increase overhead releases to colleges of education and the NCC.
The National Quadrennial Conference of Senior Staff Union of Colleges of Education Nigeria is organized every 4 years to elect new leaders for the union. In Abuja, Chibweze Obi for Signature TV.
The National Coordinator, Association of Civil Society Organization on Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition, Ayo Epimoye, says malaria is one of the major causes of Nigeria's poverty. He made this claim at a joint meeting with civil society organizations and community-led monitoring projects on malaria in Abuja on Tuesday. According to him, Nigeria has entered into the rainy season, which breed a lot of malaria, mostly in rural areas, and this increases the health and social problem. Anita Eze was at the meeting and now reports.
The National Coordinator, Association of Civil Society Organizations on Malaria Control, Ayo Epimoye, stated that the media has a role to play in mobilizing communities and engage critical stakeholders to fight against malaria by raising the need to increase funding for malaria intervention by the government at all levels. He appealed to communities to create channels for stagnant waters to flow to prevent mosquitoes from laying eggs inside them.
If our communities, both in the rural areas and the urban areas, can do this, keep our environment free of stagnant water, there will result in less incidence of malaria. It has been proven that malaria is a cause of poverty. If Nigeria is to grow, if we are to leave poverty behind, and if our society is to work well, we all have to join hands in tackling the problem of malaria.
The senior operations manager of the association, Fatima Kolo, in her opening remarks, said that the associations were collaborating with the Ministry of Health, national and state malaria elimination programs, and National Primary Healthcare Development Agency in 13 states to mitigate the spread of malaria. She further disclosed that a new funding grant for 2021 to 2023 has been initiated.
Our scope on NFM3 still remains the 13 Global Fund supported states in Nigeria, which are Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Jigawa, Kwara, Niger, Taraba, Gombe, Yobe, Adamawa, Ogun, Osun, and Delta states. We are covering 8 local governments per state, which gives us a total of 104 local government areas in the 13 states. To get this work done, we did engage 624 community volunteers who will be working on various community activities.
One of the partners of the association, Eunice Subair, also stated that recipients of the grants may not be aware of such grants, stressing the need to empower and encourage the communities to access them.
Pre-campaign activities have started to replace nets in Katsina State, in Ogun State, and one other state. And also, chemo prevention, that's the SMC, is also ongoing. It will still happen this year despite all the inadequacies due to what COVID has caused us. With the new grant, some states also be the beneficiary states. As we all know before, it is just 13 states that the Global Fund is supporting. But with what was given, other states will join in, and we know by and large, every state of Nigeria will be a beneficiary.
Association of Civil Society Organizations on Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition is a network of civil society organizations working on the prevention, treatment, and mitigation of the impact of malaria and the promotion of immunization and better nutrition in Nigeria. In Abuja, I am Marvelous Oboman for Signature TV.
2 suspected kidnappers were shot dead in Ajaokuta area of Kogi State by the anti-crime patrol team of the Nigeria Police on Wednesday. The alleged criminals, dressed in military uniforms, numbering 5, had blocked the road, stopping vehicles until the anti-crime patrol team swooped on them and engaged them in a fierce gun battle. 2 of the criminals were killed as 3 others escaped into the bush with gunshot injuries. The police team are on the trail of the fleeing suspected kidnappers, combing bush areas around the location of the incident. The police have in their possession items recovered from the criminals. They include 2 wooden AK-47s, 25 assorted GSM handsets, 1 First Bank ATM bearing Muhammad Jamil, and an undisclosed sum of money. Meanwhile, the Kogi State government has praised the gallantry and swift response of the security forces, who are ever poised and to secure the state from criminal elements. The governor, Alhaji Yahaya Bello, through his chief press secretary, Mohammed Onogu, called on citizens to go about their normal businesses as the state is battle ready to confront criminal elements, and other mischief makers. President Muhammadu Buhari has taken delivery of the first made in Nigeria cell phone called ITF Mobile. The product was presented to him by the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, Otumba Niyi Adebayo, just before the commencement of the week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Wednesday. Introducing the product to the President, Adebayo said it was produced by the Electrical Electronics Technology Department of the Industrial Training Fund's Model Skill Training Center, using locally sourced components. Also, before the start of the Federal Executive Council meeting, President Buhari also presided over the swearing-in ceremony of a commissioner for the National Population Commission (NPC) and the Federal Civil Service Commission (FCSC). Those sworn in were Waki Obuka as the Commissioner of the Federal Civil Service Commission (FCC) and Muhammad Datidro Usman of Commissioner of the National Population Commission (NPC). In business, following the continued free fall of the naira against major currencies of the world, the House of Representatives directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to find a way to stop the free fall of the nation's currency. The House of Representatives gave the directive at a plenary on Wednesday. It directed the Central Bank of Nigeria to urgently put in place a policy to check further devaluation of the naira to the United States dollar and other international legal tenders. The House directed its Committee on Banking and Currency to ensure compliance and report back to the House in 2 weeks for further legislative action. The resolution followed a motion of the urgent public importance by Bamidele Salam on Wednesday. CBN further noted that while the value of the naira relative to the US dollar has declined by 9% in the last 6 months, the South African rand and Ghanaian cedi have appreciated by 11.4% and 1% respectively. The House said it was aware that CBN has adopted multiple exchange rates since last year in a bid to avoid outright devaluation. On the foreign scene, at least 10 mine cleaners working for the Hallow Trust in Afghanistan northern province of Baghlan have been shot dead and more than a dozen wounded. Afghan officials blamed the Taliban, saying militants started shooting everyone in the compound. But Hallow Trust CEO James Cowan told the newsmen that the local Taliban came to their aid and scared the assailants off. The Taliban also denied the attack. Violence has surged since the U.S. began to withdraw its last troops on the 1st of May. The Department of International Troops comes amid deadlock in the peace talk between Afghan governments and the Taliban. In the world of entertainment, 2 Nigerian female musicians, Seyi and Tiwa Savage, had an altercation at a salon in Lagos. In videos shared on social media, Seyi tried to say hello to Tiwa, who told her off, citing a previous diss track she did. Seyi had called Tiwa names in the diss track. Tiwa told Seyi she did not forget what she did about 2 years ago, saying it was pretentious of Seyi to want to say hi after the public dissing. Seyi said she wanted to apologize, but Tiwa said this should have been done by calling her and talking about it over the phone. The two almost fought as they went on calling each other names. In sports, Wolves have approved former Benfica boss Bruno Lage as a new manager. Lage was previously assistant to Carlos Carvalhal at the Sheffield on Wednesday and Swansea before joining Benfica, where he won the Portuguese title in 2019. The 45-year-old succeeds fellow Portuguese Nuno Santo, who left Wolves at the end of the season after 4 years and Molyneux. Lage, in his reaction, said he's happy and excited with a big ambition to do great things for the club. Before we end the news, a recap of our major stories. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Ayuba Waba, has described trade unions as victims of circumstance in Nigeria. Association of Civil Society Organization on Malaria Control, Immunization and Nutrition says malaria is a major cause of Nigeria's poverty. President Muhammadu Buhari receives first made in Nigeria mobile phone at the presidential villa on Wednesday. Safety and security begins with you. Be patriotic. Report any suspicious activities to law enforcement agencies. Please stay safe. This is the Signature TV News Update. On behalf of my producer, Damilola Abudu, I'm Ifunanya Ilodianya. Thanks for watching.